Hello there everyone, and welcome to the next major tutorial here on Ducttapestuff. Actually, before we get started here, I just want to let you know that I did receive a personal message a while back letting me know that one of my subscribers' birthdays was today. So I just wanted to say happy birthday, Ava Skylar 1. Hope you enjoy this tutorial as it was posted on your birthday. I just wanted to let you know that this tutorial is dedicated to you as it was filmed today on your birthday. So have a great birthday, and let's get started here on the tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to be going over how to make a duct tape beach bag, or like a tote style bag. Let me first start off by saying here that if you already watched my backpack tutorial, my two-part video on how to make a backpack, duct tape backpack, you're going to notice a lot of similarities between the two designs. That's more or less because with duct tape there's really only a certain amount of ways that you can make things, and with the backpack and the tote bag here that we're going to make, it's going to be more or less the exact same design. So before you get all crazy and when I'm take you through the motions and you sit back and think, well, it's exactly the same as a backpack, I'm telling you now it's pretty close. We're going to leave out a few things that you would normally do for the backpack, but nevertheless it is almost the same basic design. So basically we're going to be using gray tape for this one. I will show you a few cool ways to decorate it as we go through it. So I apologize, I usually do my tutorials in color, but I just wanted to try to save a little bit on the amount of colored tape I'm going to use. So the first thing you're going to do is cut out a whole bunch of strips that are 11 inches long each, and we're going to start sticking those strips together. I have 4 cut out here in front of me, but you're going to be using a decent amount more than that, so be prepared to cut out a lot more 11-inch strips. So we're just going to take these two and stick them together just like that without any air bubbles, like that. That's like our first 2 stuck together. I'm going to take our third one up here. I'm going to overlap just a little bit on the bottom here, not too much, probably just like 1/4 inch or so. Flip the whole thing over, and I'm going to take this 4th strip, certainly not the last strip, but the last strip I have here in front of me, and cover up the rest of the sticky side on this side. Alright, so now you use 4 11-inch strips, and then basically what you're going to do is cut out a whole bunch more of these 11-inch strips, and you're going to apply them back and forth, covering up the sticky sides on each side until we get a square piece of duct tape that is 11 inches long. So we have 11 inches wide here on the sides when it goes down, and it's going to be 11 inches on every side. So 11 inches up here, it already is. You're going to go down here so that it's 11 inches on this side here, so all the way down to about here. So that's what we're going to make. So make this square piece of duct tape right now. So here's what it looks like after you're done. I used about 6 strips on each side, maybe 7 on one side, 6 on the other, so that's about 13 strips of tape. So we've got all those stuck together, no sticky sides showing, just one giant piece of tape. Now what you're going to do is you're going to make an exact duplicate of this sheet right here. So take the time now, hopefully you figured out how to do it and you didn't get any air bubbles or stuff like that. So just make an exact duplicate of this sheet here, and then we'll move on to our next step. So work on that now. So after you made your 2 sheets, I'm going to go over a couple ways that you can decorate the sheets that you made. Now usually when I make wallets and book bags, pretty much anything, usually I don't decorate things until the object is completely done. That way you don't risk like covering up something that you design, like a huge design, and then you end up like taping over it because you want to attach something. Usually I decorate after everything is completely done, but this is going to be a little bit different because once we get the whole thing constructed, it's going to be a little difficult to do what I'm about to show you. The first thing obviously you can do is you could do giant stencils. Like I showed you some of the paintings that I did where I have a huge stencil, like for example the Sonic painting where I have the giant Sonic image on there. You can do this on this sheet of tape, and then obviously that'll be like, this will be the outside portion of your tote, one of the sides, the outside portion of your tote bag. So you can do that. Also, another cool way I'm going to show you how to do is to put stripes and stuff on here, and I'm going to do that in a certain way. If some of you have seen my recent tutorials, you probably know what's coming, but I'm going to show you how to do that next. So stay with me. It's going to be a little bit more complicated, but hopefully I'll be able to explain it to you without too many hiccups. So let's get started here. The first thing I did is I took 2 strips of orange tape. For this example, I took 2 strips of orange tape that were 9 inches long. I stuck them together, and then I split those 2 strips in half so that I had 2 pieces that were just like this. No sticky sides showing. This is half of 2 strips that were stuck together. Okay, so that's about 9 inches long. You'll notice that it is 11 inches on all sides, like a square. So I deliberately made this 9 inches. You'll see why. I'm going to put this right here. Okay, and I'm deliberately leaving enough room on this side so that when we do attach the tote bag, and we put like a giant piece of duct tape here to attach the sides, I'm not going to cover up any of this design. So now what you're going to do is take your ruler, and I'm going to do it right up here as I'm going, once you got this strip positioned, I'm going to mark just about a 1/4 of an inch down on that, from where it ends on top here. Take the ruler away. Now I'm going to do is I'm going to make an incision in this piece of fabric that's the same size of the strip here. So it's you probably can't see it too much on the camera, but it's just the size of the strip here. So if I were able to slide that strip right into the actual fabric here. You probably know what's coming now. We're going to actually weave this strip into this part. So once we've got that part in, that's just going to slip into the actual sheet a little bit. So the cuts are right about here, just below the end here. I'm going to take the ruler, I'm going to cut where these inch marks are, and that will let me know where to make the incisions. I'm going to make 7 of them here. So we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then actually there's 8. So, but there's 7 inches total. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here, and I'm using this as my template to determine how much I can cut here. So I got that one, and you want to make sure that it's a straight line, so if you come to the end of these cuts, it should form a straight line down the entire sheet of tape. I know it's probably a little difficult to see on camera, but if you're doing it in person, it's going to make a whole lot more sense, because it is kind of hard to see when on the camera there. So make the second cut here, and then that's it. So then what we're going to do is we're actually going to weave it in here, so let's do that now. Alright, so take the top here, just going to stick that right in there, just like that. Actually, I think I may need to make that just a little bit bigger. You'll know right away if it's too small, because obviously it'll crimp the duct tape a little bit. So then I'm going to take this piece, I'm just going to stick it right in here. And that's just going to go down in just like that. I'm just pulling it out the back here. Hold on to that piece there because we want just a little bit sticking out. So I pull down so that there's just a little bit sticking out right there. Then we're going to come on the other side here, and we're just going to stick this piece back through the hole like this, just kind of like you're just weaving the tape here. So we got that piece stuck in. You shouldn't have to fight it too much because it should slide right in. If you need to make those incisions just a little bit longer, just do that with your X-Acto knife. Make sure that's tight. And then what you're going to do is just do that simple process, back and forth, all the way till you get to the bottom here. So that's what it looks like after you're done. You've just been weaving in between, back and forth, until you have those checkers there. Now, I'm going to stop right at this point here, but if you want to continue with the checker pattern here, all you need to do is keep out cutting more of those 9-inch strips, splitting them in half, and then doing the exact same thing. You would make these incisions in the exact same spots, except obviously you would weave it differently. Like instead of this piece going under here, you would go over that piece if you were doing it right next to it, and then over under it just in the exact opposite pattern until you worked your way across. So for example, you know, that's just exactly how you do it. So that's how to do the checker pattern on here, more or less. To attach these on the back, it's actually really easy. All you do is just take like a piece of tape and you just want to stick that down. So this is the inside of the bag, obviously. And you got another piece for the bottom here, and you just make sure that's stuck down. It doesn't take much because obviously these are just sitting in here, so. And there you go. So that'll stay in there. That's not going anywhere. So that's the one part of the wallet. I have the other one over here. It's got a little more of those checker patterns on there. So now we're going to work on the sides, and then we'll work on the handles, and then we've got our tote bag. So let's start on those steps now. So now that we've worked on the two basic parts of the tape, the front and the back, more or less, we're going to work on the sides. Now if you look here, we're pretty much more or less back to where we started at the beginning here. Basically what you're going to do is going to cut out 4 strips of tape that are 11 inches long each, because remember those were square sheets of tape that we were working with, 11 inches on each side. So you're going to cut out 4 of these 11-inch strips. You're going to stick the first 2 together just like that, and you're going to take the third one and overlap once again just by a little bit, a 1/4 of an inch. Oop, and overlap by just a little bit on this side. Make sure it's stuck down before you do flip it over, not like I just did there. Take your 4th strip here and you're going to cover up the rest of the sticky side down here. Now, these are going to be used for the sides. There's actually just one piece that's going to be used for the side. Since we have two sides, you're going to have to make one more sheet just like this. You could have 4 more strips and put them together exactly the way I just showed you. Now, when we connect these two pieces, like this is going to be the side, and it's going to wrap around up like this, and the other part's going to go up like this. It really depends on how big you want the bag. If you want the bag to be bigger and hold more, all you need to do is just make these longer. Like add 2 more strips on here, one on this side, one on that side, or maybe 4, 2 more, and then on this side 2 more on that side, and that'll make your bag be able to hold more, obviously, because it'll make it go up higher or make it a little lower if you're doing it the opposite way, and that'll be able to hold more things. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to do 4, but if you want to do more than that, you're more than welcome to. All you do is just add more strips to this side, and then you'll be able to attach them, and your bag will have more space. It'll be wider and it'll be able to hold more things. So make another sheet just like this using those 4 strips or more if you want to. Alright, so after you've gotten 2 of these sheets made, we're going to start connecting the sides and actually constructing the bag. So I cut out an 11-inch strip here, and basically what I'm going to do is just stick this right on top here. I'm going to overlap it by, say, about 1/4 of an inch or so. And remember, this is the outside of the bag here. The inside of the bag is actually going to be underneath this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to seal it on right here. And it's going to be a little tricky, especially if you're working with longer pieces of tape, but you want to make sure that it's nice and even on there. Yeah, forgive me while I mess this up a few times. I'm not perfect by any means. So we're just going to line this up one more time, about 1/4 of an inch, and then we're just going to stick it down just like this. You'll notice I don't want to cover up this design on here. That's why I left some more room on the side there. And I'm just going to stick that down. So now we've gotten that one side attached. Next thing we're going to do is work on this part here. This is the other side, obviously. That's the inside of the bag here. So what you're going to do is probably be easier if you flip this over like this. Align them just like this. And underneath here I have my my other 11-inch strip here. I'm just going to peel that up. Move that over just a little bit, and I'm going to overlap this once again just by 1/4 of an inch or so, and then just stick it down. Hopefully I'll have some better luck with this side. Yeah, much better. Getting the hang of this. So we're just going to stick it on just like that. Make sure that's good and stuck on. You can seal these sides down here on the inside if you really want to, because those are going to stick out a little bit like when you kind of fold the bag, but it's not really a necessity, just if you want to or not. Next thing you're going to do is take that other strip right here, this is the exact same piece, and you're going to do the exact same thing on this side. So you're going to lay this down 1/4 of an inch, put that other strip down there, flip it over, and do the exact same thing on that side. So the exact way I just showed you, just do the same thing on this side now, and then we'll have the rest of the bag constructed. So do that now. Alright, so once you've gotten the sides taped up here, obviously the last part is just the bottom. Now the bottom is made in the exact same way. All you do is cut out 4 of those 11-inch strips and then stick them together, and then 2 more, which attach to one on this side and one on the back side here, just like the backpack tutorial. And then you just take 2 small strips, and then it forms kind of a rectangle down here on the bottom, and that just seals it up. You can reinforce any of these on the sides or the bottom here just to make sure like that if you put a decent amount of weight in here, it won't tear or rip out or anything like that. So you just put like an extra strips of tape. If you have Gorilla Tape, you can use that. That's pretty much, it shouldn't really cave in at all or rip out because it is duct tape. It is pretty strong, even if you do throw some decent amount of stuff in there. For the handle, is really simple thing to do. All you do is just take a long strip of tape here. I kind of seal them up in the center, kind of like the bows, almost like that, and just tape them together so it kind of has like that tote bag look to it. And I just taped them right to the actual bag with pieces of duct tape, and then you have your tote bag there. So incredibly simple to make. It just takes a lot of duct tape, a little bit of time, but there you have your tote bag. You're able to throw stuff in it, or if you're using it as a beach bag, you're ready to hit the beach, go on vacation, and use your duct tape beach bag there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I know I've had a lot of fun making this, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the tutorial and enjoyed making it, and if you're planning on doing that. And I'll see you guys next time. So take care, subscribe if you want to, and just have fun making duct tape stuff. See you later.